Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt.
And welcome to Sofa Reviews. Today we're looking at In the Name of the King, a dungeon siege tale.
Released in 2007, the movie was Uwe Boll's largest budget production, and was a box office bomb as well. Ultimately, he decided that he would never make a big budget movie again because of its failure.
So we start with these two and...
I knew you'd come.
What?
I told you I would.
I mean, I felt it. I felt it before you came.
Are you sure we're watching the right movie?
What, you're worried I have an extensive Ray Liotta porn collection?
Kinda.
So Ray Liotta is the evil mage Galleon.
Oh god, it's Anakin Skywalker!
No, that's Jason Statham's son. Statham's the hero of this film, a turnip farmer called Farmer.
Seriously?
Yeah, you know, like our friends, accountant, plumber and whore.
I may regret this, but why is he using a boomerang?
Well, have you ever tried to subdue a turnip without one?
That's what I love about your old man, Zeph. He always knows how to set a mood.
Show no where we stack his con.
Okay.
Here you go, Zeph. Have a pig.
Guess you'll be staying for supper.
Well, since you asked.
So Ron Perlman joins the family to have dinner, and I don't think anyone in this room has the same accent.
Didn't his parents give him a name?
They died before they could name him. Nork brought him to Stonebridge when he was just little.
So Nork is his father?
The whole town adopted him. Different families took him at different times. But Nork, he always kept a special eye out.
I'm glad he has a family now. I'm glad it's us.
Ah, you sicken me, you little shit!
You said he wasn't Anakin, and now Matthew Lillard.
Yes, he's the king's nephew and heir to the throne.
Are you sure he can't watch something else or do something else?
Well, we could always talk. So King Burt Reynolds gets a report from a soldier who can honestly say that his career improved when he appeared in Hunt to Kill.
This is gonna suck.
And we briefly get to see John Rhys Davies.
What's he doing in it?
I believe the technical term is getting a paycheck.
My farmer sense is tingling.
So as he's being attacked, Farmer pulls out his machete and...
Why does he have his machete?
well, to pry the wily turnip out of the ground, of course.
So Ron Perlman joins the battle, and he at least has the decency to use a shovel.
Of course, while they're having their little buddy moment in the barn, the village is also being attacked.
Before the action, we're treated to a scene that's pretty much pointless except for establishing that Matthew Lillard should never be allowed to speak.
It might behoove you to learn a little respect.
So we see the village being attacked by the Krug, Farmer's wife is kidnapped, and Farmer gets cut down.
But he gets straight back up from a knife to the head.
I don't know what kind of world you live in where giant sword wounds to the head are anything more than a slight annoyance.
So the village is trashed and many villagers are kidnapped. Farmer's son is killed in the action.
Well, he can always have another one.
That's pretty cold. I mean, look at him. He's showing no signs of emotion at the loss of his son.
So Lillard and Liotta explain that they're working together to overthrow the king.
I cannot wait any longer. You must put your little plan into action. You must be...
Meanwhile, the three stooges get together and go off on an adventure to save the villagers and Farmer's wife.
And we get to see this scene with their hilarious hijinks as they try to cross a ravine.
Because that's just what we need right after child murder.
So Farmer meets some forest women, Liotta poisons the king, John Rhys Davies cures the king, but then Lillard flees the castle with 2/3 of the army.
So Farmer and co manage to catch up, only to immediately get captured.
I can't read you. I can read most men, like reading scrolls of flesh. But you?
You, I can't see past your scowl. Why is that?
That's just Statham's face. It's like reading a block of cement.
So now that you are hanging and unable to talk, I shall ask you questions.
Who are you?
Some riddles aren't worth solving.
Seriously, even when he's tied up and hung, he can still kill your guys with ease. At this point, you should probably think about giving up.
So John Rhys Davies shows up and saves Farmer while we see that his wife and friends are being taken to Ray Liotta's castle.
What makes him so special?
Because, Your Majesty, he is your son.
He's the king's son. Where the hell did that come from? They look nothing alike.
I mean, even Farmer has the decency to point out how stupid this is.
One old man thinks he recognizes another from 30 years ago. That's how you determine who's king.
So the soldiers rejoin the king, and we see the first major battle with Lillard and the Krug.
These Krug have no archers, but they also have no fear. Be clear, they will attack our lines. And as these Krug will never retreat, they will be vulnerable to a secondary attack from behind.
And because Farmer's with them, they decide to ignore tactics and charge the army that outnumbers them and has no archers.
I know it's Statham, but why is he fighting like he's in some kind of wire fu kung fu movie?
You know, I think the best bit in this entire battle is the moment where the Krug start setting fire to their own men and firing them in catapults.
Yeah, this whole battle just goes on for too long as well. You really get no sense of one side beating the other.
So Lillard finally manages to kill the king and flees, but is captured by the forest women.
Farmer's friends try to escape, but Ron Perlman sadly dies. But then his friends only get captured again anyway, thus he died in vain.
What you always wanted.
My son.
I finally found my father. Oh, he's dead now.
So we get a battle between Lillard and Commander Tarish.
And it's really hard to care about this because the fight goes on far too long and it's painfully obvious that Lillard doesn't stand a chance.
This duel, it will be your last, Father.
The king is dead! King Conrad has died!
No, this cannot be.
I am your king! No, you are cursed to the throne!
Commander Tarish is bound by honor. You'll never kill the new king of Ebb.
Wait, so he gets to be king even though he killed your king? Why did he bother trying to be subtle in the first place if he could just get away with it?
I give you your new king. The lost son of Conrad. Camden Conrad. Known to some of you as Farmer.
Your father believes that people become what they do. He's very good at what he does.
So now that he's the king, will he start calling himself king, or is he still going to be called Farmer?
Tonight we dress our wounds. Bury our dead. Tomorrow we march on Christwind Hold. Gouge evil from its shell.
Well, he took to speeches quite well.
Well, you know...
No, let me guess. He practiced on turnips.
No, Matt. That's just stupid.
I feel him in you because you're carrying his son.
So it turns out Farmer's wife is pregnant.
Told you they could have another one.
So they decide to send a small team to take out the evil mage, while the army assaults the castle as a distraction.
Although you can clearly see that the army is fighting during night, the team sneak in during the day.
So John Rhys Davies teleports in to confront Liotta, and they have a psychic sword fight with absolutely no tension whatsoever.
Liotta wins, and while he's on the floor dying, John Rhys Davies finally realises he's in an Uwe Boll film.
How could I have been so stupid?
So now we get the final battle between Farmer and Liotta. And yet the film still hasn't actually explained how Farmer is such a good fighter.
Luckily, Uwe Boll released a picture of a turnip with the DVD to explain how Jason Statham developed these skills.
Wait, what? The blade didn't come anywhere near his throat to do that cut.
There's something I've always wanted to tell you. I love you.
Our son is still dead, though.
In conclusion, this movie has a completely wasted cast. The fight scenes take way too much time without any real conclusion to them. And despite the fact that it was a box office bomb and Uwe Boll promised never to make a big budget movie again, he's making a sequel.
This film may as well have been called In the Name of the King, A Lord of the Rings tale. It's hard to go 10 minutes into this film without spotting something they've just copied from Lord of the Rings. You've got a hero who turns out to be the heir to the throne, who spends most of his time going around with his two companions. You've got a battle at the end, which happens at night, for no real reason other than, well, Helm's Deep was at night. And at the end of the day, there seems to be no real idea what's going on with the story. As far as I can tell, the moral is that turnips are evil and that children are replaceable. We sat through the director's cut, which, apart from seeing a bit more of her and a bit more of him, is not really worth the extra 37 minutes, apart from perhaps one funny line from Matthew Lillard.
Can I return to my horse?